Okay, so we're live. So tonight we are super excited to have Miss Adrienne on the call with us. So our team has followed you, and we are just so excited to have you pour into us tonight. The way the call is going to work, you guys, it's a little bit different than the last call. So we have some of our leaders on our team, Diamond and Above leaders, that are going to be taking turns asking Adrienne questions that we've come up with. And we all have our pen and paper ready. So Adrienne, if you'll just start and tell us your story, how you got started in the business, when you got started, all of that juiciness.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. So I started in the business. I was introduced to It Works in August of 2012. I was looking for a solution for my belly. I was getting ready to go on vacation, and honestly, I was just looking for a quick fix. So as I was sitting in my cube surfing the net, I saw some information about a body wrap, and I said, hey, sign me up for it. My belly kind of looks like that before a picture. Let's give it a go. And so I tried it. I had great results. Was sending like my before and after to my girlfriends, and they were like, sign me up, where do I find this? And that's really like when the light bulb started going off. So I said, hold on a minute. So I went back to the website, did a little bit of research on It Works, and I saw that there were like 35 other wellness solutions. And I said, okay, well, people wake up every day, they wash their face, they may pop a multivitamin, they think about how they can lose more weight, how they can, grow their hair out, whatever. And there's a solution for everybody. And so it made sense for me. I said, I can either pay to use the products or get paid to use the products. And so I became a distributor, and that's how my story started.
Just from wanting to lose a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us about how long it took you to hit certain ranks? Because I think we all tend to compare ourselves and I think we always assume every leader that started just skyrocketed to the top immediately.
Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting. I was super excited about this business. It was really like ignorance on fire. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was talking to my friends and I was sharing pictures. And honestly, that is what we have all been doing our entire adult life. We just haven't been getting paid for it, right? So like sharing is what this business is all about. So I was sharing, my friends were like, oh yeah, cool, $99. I know a lot of people that would love these products. And so my business grew really quick. I've always been like a good recruiter. But as my business progressed, so I charted to Ruby, hit Ruby within 30 days, no problem. Hit Ruby and kind of like hit a stump. And it was more it was probably more of a mental block. I couldn't get over myself. So just a little bit about me. I was a project manager prior to It Works for Marriott International. I worked for Ritz-Carlton for 9 years, Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company, which is actually a subsidiary of Marriott. And so I handled the sales and solutions department for Marriott. I have my MBA. I have a lot of degrees, but I also had a lot of debt, which is kind of like what led me to It Works. I was looking for another solution because while I made quote unquote good money, I was still living check to check. But all of those degrees also, I feel like brought a whole lot of stuff with me. So I couldn't get over myself, right? And so sharing on Facebook regularly and consistently, people were like, literally like, you're crazy, girl. You have your MBA. What are you doing selling this rap stuff? Like, what is that about? What are you doing? And it really just started to discourage me. And so I went through that whole phase of, oh my gosh, my friends and family don't support me. These people think I'm crazy. Am I not supposed to be here? Am I not supposed to be doing this? And so I literally kind of just stopped working my business. I remember one of my girlfriends reaching out to me in like November of that year, like, hey, I want to host a rap party over the holidays. And I was like, oh, I can't do it, girl, I'm busy. I had absolutely nothing to do. I just turned it down. I wasn't interested. And so during that time, I had recruited Ronessa Brown. Okay. And so Ronessa was moving. She got it. She caught it like she completely got it. And I was over her house one day in January, and she was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you recruited me. You recruited all of these people, and you just stopped working because why? Get in, like, this business is moving. And so really that was kind of like the conversation that catapulted me into my next level. So in January of 2013, I decided that I'm working this business. Like, I needed to get out of that 9 to 5. I was miserable. And I went from Ruby to Presidential Diamond in like 5 months. And so that was like, that's what happened. That was my story. I decided I'm putting in my all, I'm giving it my all, and I don't care what people think. And so I had a slump. I did stop working my business for a couple of months, but when I decided that I was all in, I just went for it.
I love that, because so often people tend to quit for a little bit and think I have to quit for good. Like, I can't come back and relaunch and catapult to the top. I didn't know that you would quit for a little bit or just slow down. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So our first leader is Sarah Horton. She just got married.
Sarah, congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
So go ahead, Sarah, take it away.
Okay, so the first question I have, it's kind of a two-part question. So first part is, what does your daily schedule look like now that you're not working a full-time job outside of It Works? And then what did it look like when you were working full-time and doing It Works at the same time?
Okay, that's a good question. So I'll start with prior to It Works. So when I decided to like get up and just work this business, I had a very demanding job. I also had about 40% travel. So I traveled a lot in my position. And so I would literally take lunch breaks, extra long lunch breaks, and I would wrap people in the bathrooms. I set up appointments with like local businesses, and I would actually leave my office and go drive around Bethesda. At the time I lived in the Washington, D.C. area. I would go drive around Bethesda meeting with these business owners that I had set up appointments with. A lot of them were like salons. So my thing was like salons in the beginning, like salons and businesses. That's how I met Ronessa. I would just walk into salons and talk to people. And so I would set up appointments with these salons on Mondays and Tuesdays because 9 times out of 10, stylists are closed or they're very slow on Mondays and Tuesdays. There's not a lot of foot traffic. And so they would allow the time for me to come in, speak with them about the product. And it was just such a novelty. You know, I would speak to them about the product and about them being like the premier salons, offering this service. And so I started there. I would set up opportunity calls, lunchtime opportunity calls. So I would literally like go in the garage, sit in my car and do opportunity calls on a conference line during my lunch. And then I would come back like an hour and 15 minutes later, maybe even, and be eating lunch at my desk. And they would be looking at me like, girl, you've been gone all this time. Like, you didn't eat. But it was literally like, you have to sacrifice something. And so, I talk to my business partners now and they're like, I work out, I'm like, listen, take your lunch, take a sandwich, go sit in your car. You have a conference line, do a call. Like, it's never too early to do calls. I was doing calls when I was a Ruby, and just, it could be maybe five people started on our calls in the beginning and it just kept growing, but you just have to be consistent in those things. And then when I got off work, I was doing the same thing. I was meeting with people after 6 p.m. if I got out the office that early. And if not, I was on the phone, with them in the evening. I used to be like a crazy gym rat and I worked out in the evening. Well, I couldn't grow this business and work out in the evening. Like it didn't work for me. And so I gave that up for about 3 to 4 months while I was growing my business. I tell people all the time, you got to give up to go up. Like people are so stuck in their, their habits. And I'm like, that's great. I'm not, I encourage you to work out and stay healthy. But if you want this for this very short amount of time, you got to give something up. Okay. Say goodbye to the yoga and bar classes after work. You got to go home or you got to go out and meet some people and wrap some people during the week. That's just what it is. So, right. Like if you want something huge, you just got to work for that dream. You can't have a minimum wage work ethic and expect all of these large things. You got to give something up. And so that's what I did. I gave up lunches. I gave up the gym. I gave up a lot of stuff. TV. I used to sit in front of the TV. Like my whole life was like a cycle after work. I would like work, go work out, make some food, watch Lifetime. That's what I did prior to It Works. And, you know, since It Works, if we turn on a TV, it's something that's DVR'd, but especially during these runs, the momentum season, like right now, what's TV? I don't know. I haven't even seen Lemonade.
I love the transparency. So true.
Yeah, for sure. So now that you're in It Works full time, what does your daily schedule look like? Do you have like set times that you do specific tasks, or do you just have a set of tasks that you're going to do for the day and it doesn't matter when you get them done?
Yeah, so right now, you know, it's crazy. It's momentum season. I wake, pray, and obey. That's, you know, what I do. First thing in the morning, wake up, I pray, have some time for myself. I set up calls. So my goal is 25 calls per day. I start at 10 o'clock, so between 10 and 12, and then again between 1 and 3. And I work to get those out of the way during that time frame. After 3 o'clock, I'm doing three-way calls, right? Because you have to give, you know, 30% of your business, like Mike Patil always says, really needs to be spent on your business, income producing activity, right? And so if you don't have a schedule, it's just too hectic, because I have people calling me all the time, and I wish that I could take three ways, just drop what I'm doing and take a three-way or get on a conference call, but you can't really operate your business like that. You have to operate your business like a business. And so I schedule everything in my planner. I even schedule the gym now. I didn't used to do that, but I do. I have to do that. And then from 3 o'clock until 6 o'clock, I'll do three-way calls. I take, you know, like an hour for dinner, you know, with my husband, and then I start back up again after 7. And then late night, I spend most of my time, so like when I get off tonight, get off the call with y'all, I will work on like admin stuff. So like my posts for the next week, my follow-ups, just making sure that, you know, everything is good. These charts, you know, it's month end, and so we have a lot of promotions happening. Volume, I send out emails, and I also do videos late night. So that's what I'm doing, like when I stay up late, and talking to my business partners. I have a lot of business partners on the West Coast too. Like one just called me right before the Zoom, and I'm like, I gotta call you back. But so that's what I do late night. So I do have a schedule. I will tell you that I haven't always been that balanced, and it's still evolving. But I have learned that I have had to, because there are times in my business where I have felt, you know, just very stressed. Like, how do I balance all of this? Like, what do I do? You know? And so scheduling everything has definitely helped.
That sounds like a strategy that I need to take after.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, we've seen pictures of you at the gym with your It Works table. So when you're doing events like that, or when you set up a table somewhere, how are you getting the people that are walking by to interact with you? How are you getting their attention, pulling them in?
Hey, how was your workout? Would you like to try a green shot? All we do, like all day. You know, so you always have to like create a relationship, whether you're at a gym, on phone, talking to somebody, you know, giving them a Blitz card. And so the relationship, because you really only have about 36 seconds while they're either leaving the weight room or walking out the door or coming in, is, hey, how was your workout? Or, hey, you know, are you going to work out? How much time do you have? Would you like to try a little energy green shot before you go work out? So it's always with the green shot. So it's kind of like a mini sample party, because we have green shots there, we have greens chews. So you have something to offer. So it's just like when you're talking to prospects, always be able to offer a solution or offer value. So we offer value.
That's awesome. I've never even thought of doing just like a quick sample of something. I always just assumed that you were going straight to the wrap. So
yeah, because the thing is, you know, sometimes like what we found in gyms is everybody isn't always open with the rat, right? So like we know that's our gateway product, that's our flagship product, and it really does work, and it has nothing to do with fitness. But when we're in the gym, you know, people have seen it works before, or we usually have our flyers. So there's a big woman on there with her belly. They're like, I don't need that. I'm working out, you know. And so we lead with things that regardless if you're working out or not, like the greens are great for everybody. And so it's kind of like the lead in at gyms. And that's helped us tremendously.
That's great.
I love that line.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so for your new distributors, when you're training them, first of all, how do you train them, and then how do you get them motivated and keep them motivated?
So for my new distributors, you know, as soon as they enroll, I have all of them go through the online training, you know, in the eSuite. And we do a new distributor training every Monday. So again, this is like part of like organizing my day, because I used to do individual like go-to meetings or Zooms with my distributors. And like I said, I'm a like heavy recruiter. So it was taking up so much of my time doing like, you know, 5 to 10 trainings every day. I can't do this. And so we started doing new distributor trainings every Monday. Now that training is also videoed, right? So that's why like video and technology is so great, because why keep repeating myself when I'm just going to talk about what you should duplicate. So we have, you know, a video. So if somebody starts in between that week, obviously after they finish the training, the eSuite training, they can go to a link, right? The link that's in our team page, and watch that training. If we have some distributors that come in, you know, kind of like over the weekend or a 2-day span, and they're like, oh, okay, Monday works. And I like doing the live trainings, even though we have a link, because I like connecting with our new distributors. I like asking those questions. I like being live, but we do it once a week. And then we have my leaders are great with like the whole layered leadership model. And we have some things within our group that allow us to like what we call plug and play. And so one of my double diamond leaders, she posts a picture and verbiage every day, morning, afternoon, and night, for like suggested posts. It's the suggested daily post, and it'll be product posts and before and afters. There'll be things that are completely compliant and verbiage that is effective, right? Because, you know, sometimes new distributors come in and they are overwhelmed and intimidated. Like, what do I do? What do I say? And this makes it really easy for them to like enroll, do this training, you know, watch this video and copy and paste this, right? And then we kind of like hold their hand through the first 30 days. And that's pretty much what we do. I'm not a motivator. I believe in inspiring through action. And so I don't ask my team to do anything that I'm not doing. You know, I recruit distributors, you know, I complete the steps to success, and I ask that they do the same. And so, I believe in just inspiration through action. I can't motivate you if it's not within. And I used to feel really bad about that, you know, like in the beginning, like, you know, you enroll people and they just didn't get it. And so I would put it on myself, like, what is going on? Like, I recruited, they're not doing anything. Or they, you know, end up in the witness protection program, right? Like, hello, hey. You know, like, hey, it's Adrienne again, right?
Remember me?
Like, blame myself, but it's like it happens to all of us. So like, don't feel bad about it anymore. Like, people are going to enroll in this business, they're going to pay their $99, and they are going to disappear. And then people may enroll in this business, pay $99, and they are going to shoot to ambassador, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh. So yeah.
I love that, because it is sometimes, especially if you haven't enrolled a distributor in a couple of weeks, you get that new DT and then you're like, okay, now what do? I don't even remember how to do this.
Right.
So that's great. I love those tips.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last question is, every top leader has a different way of closing the deal with a potential distributor. So when you've got a potential, how do you get from them being a potential to really closing that deal and them wanting to sign up?
That's a good question. Because I think really depends on the conversation. But I will say that it is very important to understand why they're starting the business. Like, you want them to be talking more than you. Okay. Why are they starting the business? And after you've talked about the business, is there anything that I've talked about today that would keep you from enrolling today? Oh, I don't get paid till next week. I don't know, I got to talk to my husband. Because if you don't ask, right, like what happens? If you don't close the sale, usually people just, okay, well, let me know. What's let me know? You got to close that sale.
Yeah, because they're not going to let you know.
Understand after we talk, like, are you ready? Because I always close it like, okay, so, and it's kind of like the head to toe consultation, right? So like when I'm talking to loyal customers, it's like, okay, from your head to your waist, tell me what you don't like about yourself. Well, I want to grow my hair out. My stomach is a little, I could get rid of a couple inches here. Okay, great. So from your waist down, what are you like? Oh, the cellulite on the back of my thighs. Okay, great. So there's a few products that I can recommend, for you to get started so we can help address some of those concerns. Now, you have two options to get those products. You can either pay to use the products or get paid to use the products, okay? And so when you put it to them like that, it's like, shoot, who wouldn't want to get paid and get skinny, And
right?
You got to kind of take the intimidation out of being a distributor. I really feel like distributors are glorified customers, right? Like, we get the same discount. There's really less of a commitment than a loyal customer, because loyal customers have to commit to 90 days. And so I really just like my distributors come in with products that they're going to use, because it's so important for them to connect off the jump. So if you're already telling me that, from here to here and here to here, these are the issues we want to address, then let's get you started as a brand ambassador. Okay, we can get you started on these products. What I do, and I'm probably jumping too far, maybe somebody already has this question, but one thing that's kind of mandatory, and I left this out for when we're starting new DTs, is we do an online Zoom wellness party 2 times a week, okay? And so what that does is it allows our new business partners to invite their potential customers, like their friends and family that maybe they would have invited to their first wrap party, or maybe they're like not in the same city, to this event. We literally go through the party pad presentation, like on a PowerPoint, and then I'll go through the products, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll talk about the products. I even wrap myself or wrap my husband, or if another leader is doing it, they'll wrap themselves. So it's literally like a live wrap party, but it does a couple things. We found that our volume has increased a lot quicker, and we've gotten our distributors going a lot quicker, because a lot of times people come to this business, they're like, well, I'll wait for my kit. What's the kit? Nothing's in it. I mean, like, the rest are the kit, but really, like, you have the website. You don't need to wait for the kit to start launching your business. So Zoom parties are kind of like mandatory for us with new distributors, because it allows them to get their first 4 loyal customers before their kit even gets there. It gives them confidence, right? They're going to get their $120 product credit. So if they did want to lose weight or start the system but didn't have the $147, they're getting their product credit. They're able to apply $120 to that system and pay $27 for it. So then I'm like, okay, I got my system. I can start getting my results. But you feel good. When you get that free product, you feel good. You get those wrap rewards. It's like, yes. So that's what we like doing. We have found that we have been duplicating quicker doing that. And so they're kind of mandatory for me. I'm like, okay, you need to get your list of 5 to 10 people together. Let's, and get them on this Zoom party in the next 2 days.
I think that Zoom party is great, because I know that our team, we've got a lot of people that aren't local. So I think it's sometimes difficult to make sure that they're, taken care of if they don't have anybody local to connect with. So I love the Zoom party.
Yeah. And I completely believe in belly to belly. Like, I love wrap parties, but in terms of like getting people off the ground and getting them launched quickly, that's really been working for us well. And then when they get their wraps, they can have their wrap party, they can wrap themselves, but hopefully they already have that $120 product credit before the kit even gets to their house.
Who's doing these parties 2 times a week? Are you rotating your leadership?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that. And how long do they last? About 45 minutes to an hour?
Oh no, like 25 to 30 minutes.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because you got to think, if you're at a wrap party, I mean, your wrap parties in person really shouldn't be any longer than an hour and 15. And that's, you're wrapping people, you have like, conversation, the guests are there. So we're not wrapping anybody and there's no guests there. So we're really able to like fly through the party pad presentation. We play Dr. Don's video about the system because, on our team to increase volume, obviously, like all of our products are great. But if you want to beef up those 400 boxes, you need to be selling some systems, okay? Instead of selling the system.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And so we talk about the system. We have a heavy emphasis on the system. And then the other products that we talk about, like the hair, skin, nails, and the fat fighters are just add-ons, really.
Love that. Okay, I think next is Brittany Fenton. Are you on?
Oh, yeah. I am here.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I do follow you on social media. And one of the first things I noticed is that you and your husband work the business together a lot. And so was he always supportive from the beginning?
He was always supportive. He, when I started It Works, we had just started dating and we dated. He lived in New York City and I lived in DC. So we commuted a lot. This was actually like another reason why I was like, I have got to do something else because this commute is killing me. And so I started the business and I asked him to be a customer and he's like, well, tell me about this business again. And I was like, oh, these are the products and, this is what we do. He's like, yeah, put me in as a distributor. So he wanted to be a distributor. Like I told you, when I started, it was ignorance on fire. I wasn't even thinking, let me put him in as a distributor. I just wanted some volume. And so he enrolled as a distributor and he was running. He's in real estate. He was a real estate development in New York. And he built to diamond in 45 days on his own.
Wow.
Yeah. Like
that's good.
Sometimes like you're building your husband. No, he built on his own in 45 days.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. We're going to need to hear some of your husband's tips. Someone's brought in one customer in 15 months. That's awesome.
That is awesome. Okay, my next question is, how do you keep your team like constantly motivated and inspired?
I just work. Honestly, I have to tell y'all, it has been my evolution of a leader oh my gosh, it's been such a journey. And like I said before, I used to beat myself up over, oh God, they're not moving fast. Am I doing something wrong? I haven't heard from them in a couple days, but you can't do that. And so I literally I lead through action. That's how I lead. I don't motivate people. Per se, if you're inspired, that's one thing, but I'm going to send you daily motivational quotes every day. I know y'all don't see me on Facebook Live doing videos or Periscope. It's just not my thing. And I know that a lot of my business partners, that's their thing. Like, I feel like a lot of my girls really need like a motivational speaking, like company, but that's just not me, that's just not what I do. But not saying that I'm not empathetic and I don't inspire. I don't motivate. I work very closely with my runners and we just put our head down. I check in, with our group. We do a lot of I'm very hands-on. So I fly to my people a lot. I like to be touchy. I just love the relationships. And so I think just being connected to your leaders, being connected, letting your team know that you love them, loving on them, and really those calls, the inboxes, those are the things that I think inspire, and I guess, if you will, maybe motivate. For me, it's just natural. I mean, that's just what I do. So if it motivates you, great. I'm really just concerned about your growth as a leader. But I plug people into tools and resources and I let them fly, because that's what my sponsor did for me. And I believe that everybody has what they need within them. They just need to find it. They just need to figure it out. So when I came back to the business, nobody called me like, girl, get off your butt. What are you doing? You know, like my sponsor, when I stopped working after like, you know, she texted me a couple times and I was just like, you know, I don't know, I'll figure it out. She just stopped. So my sponsor is Madra Jones.
Okay.
But at the time, she was one of our, you know, Black Diamonds. So I, you know, and now I get it, you know, like I talked to her a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about my chart and she's like, do you understand why I just kind of let you do? I said, I do, because that's what I do for my leaders now. Like you can't make anybody do anything.
Right.
You can't. And when I was ready, I did it. Madra didn't give me not one customer, not one distributor. She never built my business. She never like texted me 5 million times. I just did it. I literally promoted to triple and presidential on the same day. And she was actually, she was like, wait, what just happened? I was like,
wait, you did what? Wait.
That is amazing, because that is a jump.
Wow. Okay.
But and you were able to do that is because you brought up leaders who were running their own business. You didn't have to micromanage. So yeah. Sorry, Brittany.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
we just all ran together, you know, like, so I think that as a leader, you have to cast the vision, and whoever catches it, when they catch it, you run with them. But you can't spend 60% of your time trying to make somebody catch the vision. If they don't catch you, you just got to keep moving. And I think that if you're always building your business, if you're always enrolling new customers and enrolling new distributors, you don't have to worry about the ones that aren't working. If they're not working, they'll figure it out. You know, it's not your fault. You know, as long as you give them, you show them the resources, they have the tools and the things that they need, they'll either figure it out or they won't.
Okay, so you kind of rolled into my next question is your leadership style. No, you answered the question. What was your leadership style and how it evolved from, you know, when you first started to where it is now? So.
Yeah, that's what I do. And I talk to, you know, I learn a lot from my leaders too. Like Alina Conley and I are good friends, and we talk, and I remember talking to her. We were talking on the cruise and I was asking her about her onboarding. She said, girl, I send them to the E-Suite and have them do the training. All of those 2 and 3 and 50 million meetings that we used to do. Because that's what we used to do. I mean, we used to have a meeting after meeting. I was like, this is like corporate America. What are we doing? And I think that it really overwhelms your team. You know, you have to simplify things. All these like multiple groups and chats is too much. And so we have learned to simplify, and it has proven to be valuable for our team's growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess I want to ask, at what point did you know It Works was going to change your life?
I was sitting at work one day as a double diamond, and payday, you know, the 15th came, and I was like, wait, what? You know, I kept logging in like, is this right? And I was like, oh, shucks, like, let me make some more appointments. And so I think at that moment, I was like, this is like changing, you know. And it's so funny because when you put your head down and you work and you pour into people, the money will always be there. And so it wasn't like I was working for like this huge amount of money, or I didn't even think that this business would be as life-changing financially as it has been. I just put my head down and went to work and looked up one day and I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And so I think when you focus on pouring into your business partners and your team, everything else will follow. You know, like everything else will really come. But that's the moment, like my double diamond check, I looked up like, is this right? Like I was like,
that's what Jess always says that. She'll be like, when you get your double diamond check, call me.
Yes. I'm like, let me transfer this to my account before they take it right now.
And for those that are not double diamonds yet, I will tell you, I 100% agree with Adrienne. There is something about double diamond that you just all of a sudden start walking around your office space like, I've got options.
Right.
I have to stay here if I don't want to. Diamond is a life-changing rank because everything in the compensation plan opens up for you. But double diamond is that life-changing check that you're like, I've got some serious options now. Triple is like, I don't know what to do with this money. This is not normal. Like, this is not real.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
It's coming.
All right, Jess, I'm good.
Okay, so next up we have Miss Tiffany.
Hey, Adrienne.
Hi, Tiffany.
I love following your journey. Thank you so much for doing this for us.
Oh, thank you.
So my first question is, how are you able to network in other markets, and has that been successful for you?
Okay, so clarify your question for me just a little bit. So other markets like outside of the country?
Like outside of your local area in other states.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question because I first started, is that mine?
Wait, hold on, Trina. I'm going to unmute everybody and then mute everybody again because it seems Okay, Tiff and Adrienne, if you'll unmute yourselves and see if that's better.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds better.
All right. So when I started the business, I was in DC. And so I was in DC. I had a lot of distributors in DC, but I had a lot of my like close friends join the business too, and they didn't necessarily live in DC. And so I worked the business. My husband, who was my fiance at the time, was in New York. So I would go to New York literally like pretty much every week. Every weekend I was in New York. I take the train, back and forth. And so I had the opportunity to work in that market too, which is super, super tough. That's a whole nother story. But it just, I feel like the business is global, right? You can work this business anywhere. It doesn't have to be in your backyard. And I think that's the beauty of computers and the Blitz card. Before it works, I wasn't on Facebook or Instagram that much. I'd be on for just, maybe every other day, nothing major. And so it took me a while to really just kind of like build online. So I like going belly to belly, talking to people. But when we moved to Florida, I literally felt like I had to build not a whole new business again, but I like having a local team. And when I moved here, I found that I didn't have that anymore. So it was good. It was a good challenge for me. And we moved here maybe about a week after we got married. So it's completely new. We know no one, just a few friends in South Florida. So I was like, okay, Boca, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, here I am. And so it's been really fun to just meet new people through networking, events, Chamber of Commerce. I joined a lot of Chamber of Commerce. I actually had a rap lounge. I tried that for like 8 months during high season in Boca, which was good because it allowed me to meet a lot of people. We live in a community where they do tons of events every week. So I make sure that I go to them. Even if I don't want to go to them, I go because I'm always going to meet somebody that, I can start building a relationship with. And I friends everybody that I meet on Facebook, right? And so they can see, she's a real person. Oh my gosh, look what she's doing. So like case in point, I went to a brunch last week that I didn't even really want to go to. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be around the people. But this woman, I friended everybody, and this woman reached out to me like, tell me more about It Works after, we were Facebook friends for about a week, and she enrolled yesterday. And so those are the reasons why I do things that I don't want to do, especially in other markets, because if you don't know people, you got to go meet people. I knew absolutely nobody in South Florida. I have a double diamond down here now, and I have an emerald, and I have a girl that's going diamond this month. And we've been here like a little over a year. So you can build anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are, You just got to get out and meet people, and you have to be proactive with those events. So like I was on those meetups. I would go to you know, just a lot of things. I tell my husband, like, here's the address. I don't know who these people are, but, you know, in case you don't hear from me, if I'm not back in 2 hours, come look at me.
Yeah, you have to be careful when you have a wrap party in your home too. It's like, who's coming now? Let me make sure there's nobody home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so my next question is, and you kind of already answered this when you talked about when you stopped your business, but other than getting over yourself or getting over, you know, the challenges you faced when you decided to jump back in, what would you say another challenge that you faced growing your business, and how did you overcome that?
Okay, so I ran to Presidential Diamond really quickly after I decided I was going to work the business, but then I was tired. Okay, like it was like I didn't pace myself. Like I don't know. Like so, like I went presidential in 2013, so I've been sitting, right, and so I've been sitting at presidential as a above average paid presidential for a couple of years, and I think I got comfortable, and then I started reevaluating my leadership style. Like, okay, you know, like I built this, you know, these people are coming in. Do I place wide? Do I place deep? What do I do? And then I started like second guessing how I built and what I was doing. So I started looking to the left and the right, like, oh, these people are going really quickly on Instagram. Let me hurry up and learn Instagram. You know, let me dig into that. Or these people are going really quickly on Snapchat. When that's not me. That's not how I built. You know, I built really quickly, going belly to belly and meeting people. And Facebook was, and it still is, a great medium for me. And so that's what I work with. Some of my team, they are like so brilliant on Instagram. And for me, I don't really convert as much as a lot of my girls do on Instagram. I convert, but not a lot. Like, and I think that if you're in this business full time means you need to be converting customers and or distributors every day. That's what that means to me. If you're not, or you don't have anything in the sales funnel, then this is not a full-time business for you. So for me, I have to do the things that allow me to build my business and make money every day. So with that being said, moving forward now, like when you don't build quickly, things tend to fall apart over here, people come and go, right? So every leader goes through that. And so I've spent, 2014, we got married and we moved. We had a lot of change. So I probably wasn't running as hard as I could have been in 2014. I will be the first to admit. 2015 was like the year of rebuild. Like, okay, let's get this together. We're not sitting here anymore. And 2016 is like the year of the coin for me. Let's, we're hitting ambassador this year. Like, we are no longer sitting at presidential. But it comes, and it sounds crazy sometimes, like, okay, she's complaining about sitting at presidential, but it happens to all of us as top leaders. Like, you go through these periods where you're like, my life isn't balanced. How should I be building? You second guess yourself, and it happens to all of us, and you get stuck. It's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Promoting doesn't come easy, but it can be easy. It doesn't come easy, but it can be easy. But it definitely takes work. And so for me, it's just learning how to balance and trusting and believing that my business partners can do it. Like, they have the tools to do it, showing them, really digging in, and working with each other to get it done. So, and I had to believe in myself again, believe, like, you built quick, you did this, you can do it, you can do it again, so
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have a visitor.
Hi.
She woke up. Say hi. She's not asleep anymore. Okay, so I think you answered a lot of my questions, but the last question that I think everyone would love to hear is, we love that you're being very raw with us, and it helps us to, put ourselves in that position to think big. So what is something that we need to know from you to get to your level? You've kind of mentioned a lot of things, but do you really believe there's a balanced life when you're climbing to the Millionaires Club?
Mm-hmm. And I truly believe that it has to be, or else you won't get there. Like, I believe that you have to have balance spiritually, and mentally, because running a business in chaos will not help you progress. And so, like I said, like I schedule everything, because if you don't have any organization, like you have to be organized with everything. Your chart is a whole, everything, you have to be organized. And so for me, I have learned, especially more so towards the end of 2015 and now, that I have to be balanced. Like I have to look up and I have to take, enjoy the moments with my family. I have to go out and breathe. I have to take a shower every day. I can't just sit in my bed and work and be on the phone. I think those are some of the things that, once I got to presidential, because that's really all I did, that's all I did, it burned me out. And so I believe that there has to be balance, or else it's not sustainable. And so during these momentum months, like Pam says, you can't buy back this momentum, so you got to run. But if it's only 2 90-day runs every year, that's nothing. Anybody can run super, super hard for 90 days twice a year, okay? And the work that you do right now is going to keep paying off through the summer, right? Until fall. And then you're going to pick back up again, and you're going to run until year end. And then in January, boom, here we are again, resolution season. And so I do believe that there is balance, and there has to be balance so that you can run a sustainable business and continue to be consistent. Otherwise, you do this, you don't look up, and then you look up and you take a break, and you don't get back up because you're broken.
Right.
I'm taking a break and I'm sitting down, I'm not doing anything else for the next 7 months.
That's great. I think we can all relate about being tired, but you're exactly right. We definitely need that.
So I wanted to piggyback off of something that you mentioned. You said the momentum season right now. So for our team, we're still a young team. Like our team is in it. I've been in 15, 16 months. So everybody on this call has been in 16 months or less. So can you, before Nicole starts, talk about momentum season and what that really means and how you're supposed to work during momentum season and what it can do for your business in a short amount of time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So momentum season typically takes place I have something going on with my monitor. Can y'all see that? No? Okay, good. It takes place like right now, right? So like in January, what happens? Gyms fill up, people decide they want to look better, feel better, lose weight, make money. And so it's like Black Friday on steroids from January till like June, okay? Because people want to look great. Summertime is coming, spring, the weather's getting good. And so you want to take full advantage of what's happening right now. People want what you have. People want what we have. And so you got to run through this season and grab up these bonuses that our company has laid out for us. Because one of the beautiful things, like when I started the business, there was no Ruby bonus, okay? That is so tremendous, because you need a Ruby to build every rank in this business, right? 2 rubies and some 400 legs is an emerald. 3 rubies is a diamond. Okay, so we build, the foundation of our business is built on rubies. So how amazing is it to introduce this business to people and show them this great incentive of an extra $500. In the beginning of the year, it was $1,000 just for doing what they would have come in and done anyway. Got 4 loyal customers, 3 distributors, and showed them how to do the same. This is like cash money, one-time payout. So it's huge, because we have to think that the masses, right? The masses want money right now. You got to be able to show them how they can make money in their first 30 days, or you're going to lose them, right? That's why it is so important for y'all to get your distributors going as quickly as possible. Because 9 times out of 10, when your distributors don't get going in their first 30 days, they quit. Okay. Sometimes they quit before that, but the ones that really start this business to make money, if they don't get going, if they don't get customers, if they don't make any money, they're out of here. Okay. And so the extra incentive of these Ruby bonuses is so huge. And as well as the diamond bonus up to ambassador. And so if you don't run during the season where bonuses are being offered, it may slip out of your hands because these bonuses aren't always going to be here. I have people on my team, I promise you, and it drives me crazy. It's a whole nother story, that, you know, when there's not bonuses, they're not running. I don't want to hit diamond if there's no diamond, but what? Crazy. But the thing is, that's what happens. So you'll have some people in your business that won't run as hard because there's no bonuses. It's absolutely insane to me, but this is the masses. This is what happens in our business. And so it's so important for y'all to put your head down and really run during the season, because it doesn't come around often. Usually, like, this is, I won't say this is it. I mean, this is the biggest season. Like right now, January through June is really going to be your biggest season. I've been in the business for it'll be 4 years in August, right? And so I'm not saying your business is going to slow down and stop, halt. But around the summertime, what happens? People go on vacations, right? And so your team, they're going to be going on vacations with their family. They're going to be going to class reunions. They're going to be going to family reunions. And sometimes the business isn't as important to them as it is to you. And so they'll stop working their business as much. They'll stop sharing as much. But then the fall will come around and you'll have people, you know, oh, the kids are back in school. I need some extra money. You know, you have sports teams and practices and all these fees. And so people start thinking about making money again. And then what happens? The holidays come and people aren't necessarily as concerned about losing weight and or making money. Sometimes, like for holiday season, it could go either way with the joining the business, right? Because people get part-time jobs, seasonal jobs. But in terms of like losing weight, some of the products that we have, some people just aren't concerned about it. They're like, it's wintertime, I layer up anyway, nobody's gonna see my belly, right? Like this is how the masses think. So you have to grab all this business that's out there right now. Like if you run the work that you do right now, super, super hard right now, is going to pay off for the rest of the year. This is what we call like the residual income. And it is so powerful. I have a girl that literally went from executive last month to double diamond. Her check went from 200 to 4,200 in 2 months. Crazy, like crazy. So when I tell you anything can happen and will happen, it will happen just like that. And so put your head down and work through this season.
I love that. Okay, we have one more leader that has a few questions, Nicole, and we have about 7 minutes left.
All right, I'm on it. Hey, Adrienne, thanks so much for being part of this. A lot of the, throughout this entire conversation, you've answered a lot of the questions I have. So.
Oh, good.
And this is why you're in the Millionaires Club. Awesome. One of the questions I had was, you know, you talk about the leaders on your team like Renessa or Alina, and you say you see that potential. So when you recognize that potential and you run with your runners, what exactly do you mean I'm running with them?
It means that your time, your time is your largest commodity, okay? And so especially when you are, like for instance, when I started this business, I was still working. And so I didn't have a lot of time spending on the phone with people that aren't working their business, aren't even running an auto shipment, right? Or always have an excuse. We all have those people on our team. And so I'm just going to be very raw and frank. We don't have time to spend hours of our time with those people when we're running during this season. And that is very okay. It is okay to be selfish with your time. I wasn't selfish enough in the beginning. I used to beat myself up about it because I felt like I could help everybody. But you can't help everybody. They have to want to help themselves. And so running with the runners means, oh my gosh, they are taking off over here. They want to do an opportunity meeting. Let me go over here and work with them. Let me help close some calls. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. Let's do some opportunity calls. Do you need anything from me? And sometimes you have these runners like really after Ronessa's like third month, Ronessa just went. I didn't have to worry about Ronessa. Like that's
your thing.
You don't have to worry. And that's good. Like that's what you want. You don't You don't need to be a micromanager. When your leaders are growing, you know, the cream rises to the top, they'll come to you when they need you. So when Ranessa first enrolled, I got phone calls every other second, like literally, like the questions were coming in 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was just starting too. So I didn't know. I'm getting Major on the phone like, this girl wants to know, you know, it was really funny. But those are the ones, you know, because they're asking the questions. They're in your inbox. They're calling you like, hey, can you talk to this girl? I remember going to Ronnie's house one day, and she was going to enroll Jennifer Tyler. I don't know if y'all know Jennifer. And Jennifer was sitting in the dining room. She was like, hi, this business sounds great. I like remember it like it was yesterday. And we're sitting there talking to her. I stopped by Ronnie's house after work. She was like, can you come by? I have this girl that's going to be really good on my team. And that's what you do. So after work, I drove from Bethesda all the way, you know, back to DC. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm meeting with Jennifer. You know, we're just talking around the dining room table. But you pour into the ones that are working, and that's what that means. You know, you look at your chart, and you're like, okay, this girl has it. What do I need to do over here? How can I pour into these leaders right here? How can I be a servant leader and help them get to where they need to be? Maybe they're good at enrolling loyal customers, okay? And this girl's good at recruiting. Let's connect them, right? Because when you're sometimes looking at your charts, it's very important to let your teams know, those movies or those executives, if you place them, listen, y'all are gonna work together. This is kind of going to be your touch point. You're going to work together to get here. This is Ruby. Okay, you're going to be the executive. You really want to like chart everything out for everybody on your chart so they know exactly. The chart is like the blueprint. But then you also want to be the connector. So introduce them. Don't just place people under people and not let them know what's going on. You know, they look in their back office. They're like, who's this girl, Amy? I thought you enrolled me. They're confused. You got to let everybody know, be very transparent about what is happening and help them understand the process along the way. That way you gain trust, you know, people know exactly what to do. Oh, I just need to get 2 people here and everybody's going to have wrap parties and get to 400. And I go executive. Yes, that's what happens. Okay, I got it. You know? Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So that's all I do.
Do I have time for another question, Jess? Or are we closing?
Yeah, we do. But will you write? Because when you type, we can't hear as well.
Yes.
I was like, who is making that noise? What is me?
I have like 12 pages of notes. Okay. What I love about what you said is like you've been in the business for 4 years and we're a young team. So sometimes the watch outs and the call outs you're talking about, like the first is, you know, when you hit the wall, you just got to get over yourself. The second, you talk about second guessing yourself, and you try all these different things that just aren't you. Is there anything else that you would say is a call out or a watch out that you've seen?
No, I think just being consistent is really the thing. You know, like if something works for you, continue to do it. If it doesn't work for you, you need to evaluate what it is you're doing, reach out or reach up and try to find a solution. Because, you know, I do realize that for some people it may be easier to recruit customers or distributors. I really think it's all in your mind. If you can recruit a customer, you can recruit a distributor. It's like the same thing to me. But if you find that you're in this business and you're not completing the steps to success every month and you want to be successful in the business, that is the point that you need to reach out or reach up to your upline, your sponsor, and you figure out what you can be doing different, because we can all be doing something different. If I say I'm enrolling 5 distributors every week, but I want to enroll 10, I'm going to reach out to somebody that's like a super master recruiter and say, what are you doing to enroll 10 distributors? Like, you have to be coachable and always know that you can learn. I'm learning something new every day. I can learn from everybody. I can learn from all of y'all. But if you want to do better and you really want this to be a sustainable business that pays you like a business, you got to figure it out. Like, don't sit here for 3 months and be like, I haven't enrolled a customer or distributor for 90 days. Well, girl, what are you doing? Reach out to somebody. Like, let's talk about this. You don't have a business if you don't have customers.
True story. My last question, if you had the chance to start all over again, what would you do differently?
I would totally get over myself earlier. That's what I would do differently. I would say, you know what, I'm just going all in, because I wasted 3 months when I first started this business, just really being, discouraged and letting the naysayers really just get me down. But I would go all out, get over myself, and just build this business. And I would chart. I wasn't really charting. I was just kind of, I don't even know how this thing happened. I didn't start charting until I started charting for presidential, but like for 3 months, I was putting people in, like, made sure. I remember one day I was like, why do you have all these people on your top line? What are you doing? I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. It was ignorance on fire. So like learning how to just chart early, like the importance of that. And really just, like when you're getting going, making sure that your business partners are good, right? So like when I first started, I wanted to make some extra money. It wasn't about helping other people. I mean, I knew I shared this opportunity with people and they would make money, so I'm helping them. But I didn't get it in the beginning. I wanted to make extra money, so I was just a sponsor. I wasn't a good leader, okay? And so when you're enrolling people, make sure that you're not just a sponsor. Make sure that you are sharing the resources with them, the steps to success, having them get on the online training as soon as possible, and then making sure that they're getting that first post out within their first 24 hours. Coach them. You got to watch them. If your new distributor hasn't done anything in a week, you need to be reaching out to them. Really, if they haven't done anything in 72 hours, hey, what are you doing? Where are your posts? Do you have your list, your top 50, top 100 contact list? Can we reach out to some people and do some 3-ways? You got to be a good leader, and it doesn't matter what your rank is or what level you are. You just got to pour into your people so they have the information, because once they get it, like, you never know who your next superstar is, but once it clicks, it's like, oh my gosh, you poured that extra bit of time into them and you turn around and that's your next double diamond. So make sure that you're not just a sponsor, but you are working every day to be a good leader.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Adrienne, we cannot thank you enough for doing this Zoom. I know I've always looked on Facebook at a conference. We're like, oh, there she is, And so we are just so honored that you even took the time out to pour into us. So thank you so, so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
And if you are not, and one more, how do you say your last name? How do you pronounce it?
Sifontes.
Sifontes, darn it, because I've been Adrienne Sifontes the whole time.
That's good though, like a clothing line. Sifontes.
It does. I love it. Well, thank you so much. And y'all, if you guys are not following Adrienne on Facebook yet, please go and follow her. She's just an awesome leader to follow and so inspiring to watch online. And thank you for being that for me and for all of us.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you at Green Carpet.
We'll see you at Green Carpet. Yes, we will.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. Take care, y'all.